Shalom. Welcome to another video. And as always, before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachwadash. And next double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere Akim. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of whether people hear or whether they forbear. All right, so this is going to be a news and prophecy update. Okay, this is from the World Health Organization website. All right, and you see this article is entitled "Getting Ready for the Next Pandemic." All right, it says Western Pacific countries and areas carry out a key regional simulation exercise. Okay, so pretty much the World Health Organization, which is a unelected government, okay, over the earth. All right, they have started doing simulations of a pandemic. They did it with 31 different countries. All right, and of course we know that whenever they do things like this, that there's always something going on behind the scenes, that nothing really happens by accident. Okay, so we can expect to see, different diseases, okay, different endemics coming up. And that's also in the scriptures, that's in the prophecies. That's one of the plagues that the Heavenly Father sends upon the earth, all right, for judgment. Okay, so that being said, we're going to read through this article a little bit, bring out some scriptures in Yahweh Rechazah. In the Heavenly Father's will is edifying to the elect. All right, so, okay, once again, it's entitled Getting Ready for the Next Pandemic. Western Pacific countries and areas carry out a key regional simulation exercise. At a time when health emergencies are happening faster than ever, 31 countries and areas from across the World Health Organization Western Pacific region participated in an annual simulation exercise to test their readiness for the next pandemic. The latest iteration of IHR exercise Crystal enabled them to assess their preparedness and practice procedures for cross-border and interagency responses to emerging health threats. Okay, so right, they are, they say it's an annual exercise that they do. Okay, but we know that it's been proven, okay, that the 1-9, it was created in a laboratory in North Carolina, I believe, at the University of North Carolina. We know that these different endemics are planned out. Okay, it's once again a part of Esau's depopulation agenda. The 1-9 deleted a lot of people. Okay, and those Maxine waters, if you're catching my drift, all right, was just another round, to go and delete more people, and that's exactly what happened. So, once again, these are plagues that the Heavenly Father sends out. Okay, He's the one that's in control of Esau and these different scientists, the different people of the world. Okay, let's get a precept on that right quick. All right, we're gonna go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 1. I got it pulled up already. All right, it says the king's heart, meaning his mind, is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, He turneth it whithersoever He will. Okay, so the Heavenly Father, all right, is controlling the wicked. Okay, He's controlling these different government officials and elites, all right, to bring these prophecies to come to pass. All right, and the Heavenly Father said in the prophecies that He would bring a sword, famine, death, destruction, plagues, pestilences, all right. And He told us to prophesy these things to let you know that these things, okay, would come down the pipeline. All right, so expect, different diseases to be running rampant out here. This is part of Jacob's trouble and the judgment of the Heavenly Father. All right, let's go to 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras chapter 15. All right, and we'll start from the top with this one. Okay, it says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Okay. Fear not the imaginations against thee, and let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Here's the point. Behold, saith Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. All right, so let's go into that word for plagues. Okay, Yahweh said, I will bring plagues upon the world. Let's get the definition on that. All right, so look what it says. Okay, plague in the Oxford American Writer's Thesaurus, it says disease. In the New Oxford American Dictionary, it says a contagious bacterial disease characterized by fever and delirium, typically with the formation of buboes, such as the bubonic plague, and sometimes infection of the lungs, a pneumonic plague, Salaki. All right, so, okay, the Heavenly Father, He controls all these things. All right, He's the one that brings these different plagues upon the earth. Okay, and even though, these scientists are the ones that are creating these things in the laboratory, the Heavenly Father is the one controlling their minds and putting the spirit on Esau to do these things. Okay, so let's keep reading on this. All right, the second paragraph in the article says representatives from the participating countries and areas tested their communication capacities as outlined in international health regulations by responding in real time to incoming information about a fictitious novel respiratory illness. Okay, so they are telling you pretty much, okay, that there's going to be a new quote-unquote respiratory illness. All right, and they're preparing for it. Okay, they're doing simulations of how it's going to affect the different countries around the world. All right, once again, these things are planned out. All right, how would they know that it's a respiratory infection? Because they're the ones that are going to bring it out. And like I said, it's all part of the depopulation agenda. All right, it says the simulation exercise offered an opportunity for focal points to practice verifying and sharing information with WHO, as well as assessing public health risks and coordinating with a range of sectors. All right, so nevertheless, okay, like I said, you got to read between the lines, all right, and know, okay, that these things are in the scriptures. Okay, that's the plagues are what is going to come. All right, plagues, sword, famine, death, destruction, the things that we read in 2nd Ezra 15th chapter. So, just once again, be aware of these things, pray for protection, keep your immune system strong. All right, do everything you can. All right, but these things are going to come upon the earth. Okay, and if you're not in the right state of mind to where you're expecting these things, you're going to be caught off guard. Okay, but we understand that when these things come to pass, all right, that it's really the Heavenly Father bringing these prophecies to come to pass, and not too far behind that is our salvation. Okay, so let's go to Luke, the 21st chapter, and we'll close it out here with this one. Okay. All right, Luke 21, and we'll get this in the King James Version. Okay, so Luke chapter 21, and I'm going to start at verse, let me go ahead and start at verse 6. All right, and matter of fact, this is red letter Yahushua speaking, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. All right, it says, and as for these things which ye behold, the days will come, in the which there shall not be left one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down. And they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? And he said, Take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them. But when you shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. It says, and then he said unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be in heaven. All right, now let's go, okay, to that word for pestilences. All right, Strong's G 3061. Loimos.
Strong's G 3061. Loimas. Loimas.
Salakia Loimas. All right. Okay. And it tells you, all right, it says literally the disease, a pestilence. Okay. Outline of biblical usage, a pestilence, a pestilent fellow, pest or a plague. All right. So he's going to bring, so we read in 2nd Ezra 15, he's going to bring plagues, diseases. All right. Running rampant. Let's skip down. skip down to verse 25. Okay, it says, "And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, and men's hearts failing them for fear." Why? Because they're not built up for this. They're not ready. Okay, we prophesy these things, but the vast majority of people in the world, they don't believe these things are going to happen. They just believe that we're fear mongering. Okay, so when that actually comes, their hearts are gonna fail them for fear. All right, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. All right. Okay, and that's it. Plain and simple. So we see these things coming upon the earth. That's one of the signs to look out for. Diseases, pestilence, plagues. All right, just like he brought them upon ancient Egypt, he's going to bring them upon this modern day spiritual Sodom of Egypt. All right. So when you see these things come to pass and you see all hell break loose, we know that we are very close to our redemption. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Yahweh righteous Amen. Heavenly Father's will is edifying. As always, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachwadash. And until next time, Shalom, Wa Ba Babal.